Saunders going small. Latrell Sprewell and Fred Hoiberg at the forwards. Kevin Garnett playing center. Sam Cassell and Trenton Hassel with Mike Bibby and Doug Christie. Sacramento, the most efficient offensive team in the NBA.
What a fun squad, the Sacramento Kings, on a great roll right now, capitalizing on one of the top homestands in the history of the NBA, but the style that they play, the ball movement, very little dribbling, nothing but passing, and lots of shooting. What a back cut.
Beautiful feed from Vlade Divac. And Divac and Miller up front. When you've got big guys that can pass like that, it makes the game so much easier.
The last time these two teams played, which was one of the best games of the entire season, Sam Cassell coming off the pick beautifully, but Sacramento had 54 points in the paint, all on back cuts. And here they are, the very first play of the game, just torched.
Miller will hit it. If you're at home watching, don't turn around to pick up a beverage. You're liable to miss about 3 or 4 shots because these teams will get it up and down the floor. Hassel misses, Stojakovic the rebound. In that first game between the two, it was way back on November the 5th. An overtime game as Brad Miller on another pretty pass from Divac. Final score was 125-121 favor of the Sacramento Kings.
The last 3 of these games between these two franchises have gone to overtime. But with Vlade able to space the floor, there are so many easy opportunities for his teammates underneath the hoop. Garnett's got to torch Vlade.
Nice quick move, and he draws the foul. And Kevin Garnett will shoot a couple of free throws. Picks up his first.
Critical matchup here for Rick Adelman. Will Vlade Divac be able to stay with Kevin Garnett, who normally doesn't get to the free throw line very often? In fact, that's one of the main concerns for Flip Saunders. But with Vlade Divac guarding him, you would think that KG could just turn and face and get to the hoop and the free throw line at will.
Well, Divac will certainly get a lot of defensive help. Garnett having a typical sensational year. For Minnesota, this is the 4th game of a 5-game road trip. They're 2-1 thus far on the road trip. And overall, the Flip Saunders is very happy about this. Despite all the injuries and new faces, they're 6-4 on the road. They've been a good road team early in the season.
Unfortunately, they're only 4-4 at home, losing some real cliffhangers. On the good side, the 18 games that the Timberwolves have played, they've had a chance to win 16 of them in the last 3 minutes of the game.
How about Hoiberg guarding Miller? There's going to be a lot of mismatches early.
Brad Miller is having a career year, and this is really turning out to be one of the best trades in franchise history.
Garnett comes right back. Now, while Minnesota's in the midst of this long road trip, Sacramento, the longest homestand in franchise history. This is the 6th game of an 8-game homestand. And as we said, they're undefeated at home, 10-0 so far this season. Christie gets Garnett up in the air. Tough shot won't go. Divac the offensive rebound. And the Kings off to a terrific start. They're 5 of 6 from the field.
Kevin Garnett has to be very careful not to get in foul trouble. Without Olowokandi, without Mark Madsen out with injuries, they really have no other big guys over there.
Olowokandi with the knee, Madsen with the back, Hoiberg with the jumper. How about Fred Hoiberg playing a forward position for the first time in his career?
Now dropped to 4th in the NBA in three-point percentage. Zone defense, we'll see a lot of that. Flip Saunders telling us that that's one of their hopes for tonight.
Christie off the mark, although you play zone against Sacramento, you're playing with fire. Vlade Divac says it's like death row to play zone against us.
Well, they're the best shooting team from the field, from the three-point line, the highest scoring team.
What makes them so fun to watch is that they're the best passing team in the NBA without question, and they're all unselfish.
How can you say that when you got the Lakers?
I think they're a better passing team than the Lakers. Is Bibby able to knock down that 3? In terms of overall. You're laughing at me already.
I've waited patiently for over 3 minutes.
Sprewell's been playing very well, averaging almost 20 a game in his last 3. Keeps Minnesota within 4. So we played not even 3.5 minutes. We already have 22 points. Stojakovic way downtown. Unbelievable range.
He is on such a roll right now, playing the best basketball of his career, and not just on the offensive end.
Sprewell rattles in a 3.
I think this is the ultimate fun game for Minnesota. You got all your guys out. Kevin Garnett's playing center. He's just out there trying to figure out a style, what's going to work, how we're going to pull this game out against all odds.
Stojakovic, another three. Now, this is not a fun game for Minnesota. This is a fun game for anybody who's watching. Right now, the Kings are shooting 80% and the Timberwolves 71%.
Mike, and you were talking about how well they're playing here at home, this 8-game homestand. They are at home for 32. They're home out of 32 days, all but 2, and that's just 2 trips to Utah in a month. That's beyond belief in the NBA.
It's unbelievable, that schedule. Flip Saunders says they're the antithesis of the Harlem Globetrotters as Christie knocks down another, and Flip Saunders has to call time.
Actual agendas that they ever have to deal with, more than willing to capitalize on wherever the matchup is.
That's been one of the keys to their success. No egos, excellent chemistry. And as we mentioned, very unselfish. Sprewell, nice feed inside to Garnett. Garnett struggled with it, but able to get it. Now, how about Sacramento? They hadn't played since Sunday, a 4-day break, which is very rare, and it's obvious they're very rusty, Bill.
Rusty? This team looks brilliant. They are having so much fun out there. They just have incredible confidence and belief in themselves that anything is possible. Go ahead and stroke a 3, Brad. Why not?
Bad pass. He thought Stojakovic was going to cut to the basket. Sprewell anticipating, coming up with a steal. Sprewell loves this kind of pace. Knocks down another. And Sprewell 3 for 3 from the field. Reminds him of his Golden State days.
Well, in those days, they lost a lot of those games. But
he still like the pace.
The problem with the pace like this for Minnesota, they just don't have enough healthy bodies.
Not only Oliver Candy and Matson, as Miller gets inside, can't finish. Garnett, good rebound in traffic. Numbers for the Timberwolves.
Second leading rebounder in the NBA, behind Eric Dampier, Kevin Garnett is.
Garnett trying to beat Divac off the dribble. Nice defense from Divac. Trent can't hit. But with Minnesota, they're still without Troy Hudson and Wally Szczerbiak, 2 of their top 6 guys in terms of the rotation that have been out all season long with injuries.
But at least those guys are traveling and working out a little bit with the team now. It has to be a good sign.
Miller fouled as he put the ball on the floor. Gary Trent with the personal. Hudson. Oliver Candy to his left. Szczerbiak also here as well. Now, Oliver Candy's missed with knee problems. Hudson has been out with a sprained ankle, and Szczerbiak with the plantar fasciitis as Garnett gets another rebound. Let's go to Jim Gray.
I spoke to Troy Hudson before the game, Mike. He said he thinks about 2 more weeks that he's starting to run. Still has a bit of a limp as Kevin Garnett knocks one down to cut it to 4, but he thinks he'll be back in 2 weeks. And Wally Szczerbiak told me, we're going to talk to him later on, that he thinks he'll be ready next week, Mike.
He practiced for the first time this week. He'd been very down about the injury, but is now feeling optimistic. Stojakovic, oh, beauty. And Peja Stojakovic, 4 for 4, but he also has 2 assists already.
When we talked with Rick Adelman before tonight's game about Peja, he just swelled up with pride and enthusiasm. It was so much fun. I mean, how impressive Stojakovic has become as an overall player.
Cassell was out of bounds when he touched it. You know, we mentioned Sprewell likes this pace. Cassell enjoys this kind of game as well.
Who doesn't like this pace?
Bibby.
Mike Bibby having a tremendous year.
They are 11 of 15 from the field, Bill.
That rust is very evident. Who needs practice? They took Monday off, film on Tuesday, horrible practice on Wednesday, tightened it up yesterday, little bowl-a-thon last night with Vlade, raising money for charity, and now they're here to play ball.
Cassell trying to make the extra pass, but Trent wasn't ready for it. However, last touch by Bibby. 5 left on the 24, and Minnesota will inbound.
Who would have ever thought that in a game like this that Sam Cassell would be guilty of overpassing?
Look at the shot clock. It says 5. It's not going to say 5 very often tonight. And a turnover, but Bibby was out of bounds when he touched it. So 1 second goes off the shot clock.
One of the big reasons for Bibby's brilliant start this year is that he's healthy. Last year he missed, what, the first 27 games with the broken foot. This year he was able to train all summer, played on the U.S. national team down in Puerto Rico up against the shot clock.
Garnett has the quick release. Good defense from Miller. And Stojakovic, who's improving on his rebounding. Every part of his game has improved.
No.
Fires another one.
That was a heat check.
Good defense from Christie, one of the premier perimeter defenders in the NBA.
3 times now on the All-NBA defensive team.
Last year, first team. Sprewell Cassell spotting up. And Sam Cassell knocking it down, a two-pointer.
Minnesota has been completely outplayed, and they're just down 6. Question is, will they be able to sustain this offensive attack once they go deep into their bench?
Stojakovic. Christie left open, and Christie can't connect. Miller keeping it alive, but Trent the rebound, knocked out of bounds. Still Minnesota ball.
If you can get Stojakovic passing to Christie every time, then your chances of winning skyrocket.
Mind you, you can decide which players will be all-star starters. Log on to NBA.com and cast your ballot for the 2004 NBA All-Star Game. No doubt a couple of guys on the floor right now will be there. Stojakovic on Sprewell. Stojakovic's defense, another area where he's really improved. He's becoming a complete player. Garnett on the pull-up. Beautiful shot from Garnett.
Tonight, Kevin Garnett has become the 5th youngest player ever to score 5,000 baskets in NBA history.
He's got 4 tonight, 9 points already. Both teams continue to shoot in the mid-60s. 67%. Minnesota's now out shooting Sacramento.
Can you guess who the other 5 guys are, or the 4 guys who are ahead of them?
What's the number? Youngest to how many?
Youngest to 5,000 baskets made.
Bobby Jackson comes in. How long do I have to think about
it? In the interest of sanity, I'll just give you the answer.
Thank you.
Wilt, McAdoo, Kareem, and Jordan, in that order.
Rather nice company. Jackson, of course, having another great year off the bench for Sacramento. Miller can step out and hit that. Not that time. Garnett, his 4th rebound. Remember, Sacramento with all these wins and a 12-4 start, still playing without Chris Webber. Webber probably will not be back till January, but this team has had the ability to have a key player out with injury last several years and not miss a beat.
Beautiful. The defensive fakes by everybody. Vlade stepping out, Christie causing confusion in the brain patterns of Kevin Garnett.
Jackson trying to take Hoiberg. Good defense from Fred Hoiberg. Again, getting the start with the injuries tonight. Miller will try it again. Knocks it down. What a pickup Miller has been for the Sacramento Kings.
Well, traditionally, the greatest trade in franchise history was Mitch Richmond sitting 3 seats to our right for Chris Webber. But right now, they're talking about this trade to get Brad Miller as equaling that.
Sprewell now 4 for 4 from the field. Richmond, by the way, will have his number 2 jersey retired tonight at halftime. He was introduced to the crowd before the game. Wonderful ovation. Bibby, pretty move from Mike Bibby against the rookie McLeod.
Bibby is getting whatever he wants. Penetration, jumpers, in transition. Where is the defensive resistance from Minnesota?
You know, I think the defense, they're all playing hard defensively, but there's so much good movement. Oh, Sprewell again, tough shot. And Sprewell 5 for 5 from the field, 11 points and 2 assists.
You sound like you've joined the coalition of the bought off.
Coalition? It's the first time I've heard that one. Bibby can't hit. Trent the rebound.
Gary Trent's got to have a big ball game for Flip Saunders tonight. This is not going to be a game where anybody's going to be challenging him at the basket area. He can just be a bull out there.
They need his front court presence with all the injuries. Garnett operating. Oh, nice tip from Garnett. He's in double figures. Garnett and Sprewell, 22 of the 28 points for Minnesota.
I think Kevin Garnett has become the best rebounder in basketball. Even better than Tim Duncan.
That shot won't go with a long carom. Right now he's 2nd in the league as Bobby Jackson nails the 3. Eric Dampier currently leading in rebounds, but I would agree, considering who he plays with on his team,
and he has to shoot all the time. He has to carry the scoring. Dampier playing with the Warriors tonight at Denver in a big Western Conference game.
Sprewell finally misses a shot. Divac doesn't hold on, but it's still going to be Sacramento ball. Awful. The fans came out. This is the 190th consecutive sellout. And right now off to a good start here in this opening period. Tony Massenberg in the game. More zone defense a little bit for Minnesota.
Irvin Johnson giving Kevin Garnett a bit of a rest here.
Miller hits the 3. Everybody stepping back and knocking it in from downtown. Miller's only taken, it's only his 7 3-pointers. Hit half of them. McLeod misses.
And they're ready for the second quarter. The Kings lead by 8 over the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm joined by Wally Szczerbiak. Wally hasn't played all year. Plantar fasciitis in his left foot. Wally, what is the prognosis? You haven't played yet this year. When do you expect to be back?
Should be back soon, hopefully. We've gone through all the treatments. We did a Sonorex shock treatment, which really helped Peja, who had this same injury last year. And I talked to him a little bit about it. And I've just been trying to get feedback, but it's just one of those things that takes a little bit of time. And hopefully in about 2 weeks, I'll be ready.
Now, you missed 30 games last year with a dislocated toe in your left foot as well. Is this related, and are you concerned that it might be chronic?
I hope it's not chronic, obviously. I don't think it is. The doctors think this is just something that a lot of people tend to get. You know, business people get it, you know, wearing dress shoes. Players get it running all around the floor. It's just not like I go to a job where all I got to do is walk to work. I got to run and get up and down the floor. So it's taken me a little bit longer, and hopefully, you know, in 2 weeks I'll be all over all this.
Wally, how have your teammates managed to stay together? You're out. Of course, we got Troy out. We've got a lot of guys sitting over here who usually play, Olowokandi. How have you guys managed to stay above 500 and do so well?
Well, I think that's just a credit to the guys coming to work every day. You know, they're playing really, really hard, doing a great job. I think the coaching staff has done a phenomenal job in inculcating a lot of new faces. We get along great off the court. I mean, I love being a part of this team. We love coming on the road, even though we're injured, just hanging out with the guys. And I think that'll carry over when we're able to get back just to, you know, fit in real well and help make each other better. And hopefully we can, you know, go on a run when we do come back.
Final thought, Wally. You ever seen a team shoot a ball like these Sacramento Kings?
I was telling the guys in the first time out, keep your head up. I mean, I've never seen anything like this. They're making threes like layups and free throws. But they're really hot, and they play like that in this gym. So we just have to, you know, continue to work hard, continue to, you know, try and match their energy and intensity, and, you know, they'll hopefully start missing sometime.
Wally, thanks for your time. We hope you feel better and see you soon.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it, Tim.
Mike, back to you and Bill.
You know, Jim, that's one of the things that, you know, you mentioned, how are they over 500 as Miller hits another one. They're 10-8. Not only do they have the injuries, but right now on the current 12-man roster, only 2 guys from last year, and that's Garnett and Gary Trent. So Flip Saunders has really done a good job trying to get all these new guys in the flow as the foul is on Miller.
And they're only 2 games behind the first-place squad in the division, the Dallas Mavericks, who are not playing well on the road. Mavericks lost last night for the first time at home. Now only 2 undefeated teams in the NBA at home, the Lakers and these Kings.
So many teams going through such a large amount of personnel changes, especially key guys. Trent can't hit that one, and the loose ball foul called on Irvin Johnson. You know, one of the fun things about that first quarter, I know they all shot the ball well, but with so many possessions, each team only had 1 turnover. Both these teams do such a good job of protecting the ball.
And both teams had more, or had assists on more than 50% of their baskets made.
And you look at Sacramento, 9 assists on their 16 field goals. And for Minnesota, 8 assists on their 14 field goals.
KG back in the game. Can Irvin Johnson continue the outstanding play that he showed in 26 minutes of action against the Phoenix Suns in their big victory the last game for the Timberwolves?
Miller, nice fake on Garnett. Garnett stays right with him. Another nice fake, but he comes up short. Garnett with another rebound. Cassell, beautiful. Sprewell couldn't handle a pass.
You got to make a layup on that. That's what you turn into just the layup that you work on in the warm-ups. You know, it's different for Brad Miller being guarded by Kevin Garnett than by Fred Hoiberg.
Very good observation, Bill. Jackson throws up a brick, and Garnett with a 7th rebound. Miller down the other end guarding Garnett. Cassell, a very good post-up guard, but Jackson up to the task. Good aggressive defense from Jackson, but Cassell still puts it in.
Kevin Garnett is 36th in the NBA in free throw attempts. That's not good enough.
Well, as a team, they attempt the fewest amount per game. Massenberg and Johnson with a rebound. I think a lot of the reason, because he faces so many double teams, Bill, and he has to give up the ball so much when he's down low in the post. He's double teamed every time he touches it in the low post.
Well, Iverson leads the league. You think he's not double teamed?
No.
What about Shaq?
Garnett, 13
what about
and
Karl
7.
Malone? These guys are double teamed all the time. Get to the hoop, draw some contact, please.
Garnett, sometimes if they talk about a fault, they say sometimes unselfish to a fault, but I can never criticize a guy for being so unselfish as him. Stojakovic tried to draw the contact. And good rebound from Massenberg, but he throws it out of bounds. All right, Kevin. Meanwhile, coming up on the schedule, NBA TV on Saturday, those Rockets host the Pistons. Then next Thursday, it's the Pistons and the Cavs in Cleveland, and the New Orleans in Phoenix against the Suns on TNT.
Pistons playing tremendous ball at home and on the road as well.
Sprewell playing a tremendous first half, 6 of 7 from the field, and Minnesota back within 4. A couple of times Sacramento's got that lead up to 10.
We've talked about how well the Kings have played, and they've certainly been brilliant tonight. But this home stand and victory streak has come against the Sisters of the Poor.
Ball still alive. Top of the backboard is in play. Top of the backboard, sides and bottom, all in play, as long as it doesn't hit the shot clock. So that one kept alive, but they come away empty. Sprewell tries it again. Oh, Sprewell red hot here in the first half. And it's a 2-point game.
Doesn't appear to be slowed down at all by that Achilles tendon injury that has plagued him throughout the season.
And you see Sprewell leading and scoring early. He had that Achilles problem, really bothered him early. It's been better, but it's not 100%. Massenberg tied up.
About 3 seconds.
Miller having a tough time picking it up. Jackson for 3. Raises the rim. And a nice follow from Anthony Peeler.
Up against the shot clock, everybody stopped. Unwilling to pursue that ball until the whistle was blown dead.
Peeler's going to have to play an important role for this team, as they've lost some key bench players from last year. Cassell now with 8 points.
Peeler's going to have a big game. He used to play for Minnesota. Rick Adelman's going to play that emotion card huge tonight.
Well, both guards used to play for Minnesota right now on Sacramento. Bobby Jackson as well.
But that was a long time ago for Bobby Jackson.
Jackson hits the 3. Now, Bobby Jackson, when he was a free agent, he wanted to stay in Minnesota, but they only offered him a 1-year deal. He said he would have taken that, but he had some family obligations. He had to take care of his family and decided to go with the longer-term deal, but he really enjoyed his time in Minnesota. But he's enjoying it certainly in Sacramento, although he's called for the foul that time, trying to deny Sam Cassell. So Jackson picks up his first. Again, the due date for Weber to return, probably not before January. Probably, we say. And that's who he was traded for. We talked about the biggest trade. Ironically, Mitch Richmond, who poured his heart out for 7 years here in Sacramento, but then had some contract problems and wanted out, was a little frustrated with losing. It turned out to be the start of something special here with the Kings. Sprewell, Peeler, excellent defense, but they call a foul. As they say, Peeler hit him on the arm, and Sprewell will go to the free throw line.
Anthony Peeler, who grew up a Kansas City King fan, growing up in Kansas City, a tremendous defensive player, easy play to call. When you argue fouls like that, you just lose all credibility with the refs.
Now, Peeler early in the season wasn't playing a lot. Rick Adelman said he was not happy. But Adelman said, you know, I don't mind it. I want a guy who wants to play. And then because of injuries they had to Gerald Wallace, he got a little more time, and now he's starting to get back in rotation. And he currently, although he hasn't taken a lot of them, he currently leads the NBA in three-point field goal percentage.
5.5 years Anthony Peeler played for the Minnesota Timberwolves. After growing up in Kansas City, playing for the University of Missouri, where he was a lottery pick by the Lakers. It was a Vlade Divac and Doug Christie teammate.
Divac with a nice shot. 4 points, 4 assists for Divac.
Big men who can pass, shoot the ball, make plays, handle it on the perimeter, opens everything up. What a luxury for Rick Adelman.
Darius Sangaila is in the game for Sacramento. Sprewell off the mark that time. Bobby Jackson high to rip it down. Jackson second in the NBA in scoring for players who come off the bench behind Antoine Jamison. Sangaila.
What a player.
Best way to describe him is he's an effort player with skills. And sometimes there's not a lot of those. Concentrate on the game.
What a game it is, too, because the passing has been absolutely beautiful. Sacramento leads the NBA in assists per game as a team.
Garnett loses it and gets it back. And Irvin Johnson with a little baseline jumper. If he can give them just some minutes where he block a shot or two, grab some rebounds, and occasionally put one in, Flip Saunders would be beside himself.
Well, such a solid performance in the Timberwolves' huge win at Phoenix. Sorry to see that Amari Stoudemire went down with a badly sprained ankle tonight.
Although Phoenix with that unbelievable comeback for the victory in Boston. Jackson, hard drive, plenty of contact. He yells at Tim Donahue, the official wanted a call. Hoiberg throws the pass, Sangala knocks it away, but Hoiberg takes it right back. And a ball knocked out of bounds.
How can you say unbelievable comeback? Who hasn't beaten the Celtics of late?
Not being down by 26 at halftime.
Now you're talking Nick territory here.
5-point Sacramento lead. You know, the shooting percentages are still very high, obviously, 62%.
Nice pass, Garnett.
Hoiberg can't connect. And Doug Christie with a rebound. Christie starting to get back into healthy. Battle of foot injury early on. There you see the numbers. The defense, the intensity's there. It's not always been effective, but it's just the offenses are both so efficient.
Beautiful fake by Peeler.
Peeler able to knock it down off the bench.
When Peeler was a kid growing up in Kansas City, he used to get into Kemper Arena and watch that terrific team with Tiny Archibald, Scott Wedman, Otis Birdsong.
Sprewell way short. Bobby Jackson likes the 1-on-4 numbers.
But nobody's running with Bobby. Vlade and Sangala got to get out.
Meanwhile, the foul on Cassell, and then Jackson, after the whistle, wants to take a shot, and Cassell still wants to block it. So
that matchup between Cassell and Bobby Jackson is just tremendous.
Third team foul against Minnesota.
You've got spirit, you got competitive greatness. You got Anthony Peeler having a monster game.
Peeler 3 for 3 off the bench. He's got 6 points, and Sacramento back up by 9.
Ironic how when he was with the Lakers at the start of his career, Doug Christie was his backup. And now he's backing up Doug Christie.
And an offensive foul called against Minnesota.
Flip Saunders just beside himself here.
Sprewell talking to Joey Crawford. Players are aware Joe Crawford, who's one of the best refs in the business, also has one of the quickest tees in the business, so you don't lollygag by arguing with him.
But Latrell Sprewell's doing the right thing. He's trying to get this crowd on him. That's what top players do on the road. You don't come in here and try to make them be your friends.
Did I just say lollygag? I apologize for that. Nice block from Irvin Johnson, and there's the kind of contributions you need from him.
Why would you apologize for lollygag?
It's just kind of an old-fashioned term.
It's quite all right.
Thank you.
It's retro night.
Sangala again with that nice little touch. He brings them toughness as they now have their largest lead of the game, an 11-point advantage for Sacramento.
Joining a long list of outstanding players from Lithuania. Offensive foul. Now this is exactly why you don't argue with the refs.
And here's some court sounds concerning that call on Sprewell. All right, some technical difficulty with the sound, but Sprewell bringing him over. In watching Sprewell all those years closely with the Knicks, he has an excellent relationship with the officials. Deals with them respectfully. When he has a point, he brings it up, doesn't try and show them up, not demonstrative. And Crawford, who normally doesn't like to have discussions like that, went over and had a nice talk with him. Sprewell didn't like the answer, but still, it was a good give and take with player and official.
But now with Sprewell and with 3 fouls, it really works against him. He would have been better off getting a technical than the second offensive foul. Great defense, Bobby Jackson.
Trent has it poked away. Sangala. And Trent able to come with a shot clock at 5. Garnett aware of that, puts up the 3. Able to put it in. Kevin Garnett, that's only the 9th three-point attempt of the season for him. He was 1 for 8 before that, and he brings Minnesota back within 8.
Well, what do you want a 7'1" guy shooting threes for anyway?
Divac with the fancy pass. Hoiberg, good defense on Christie. Very physical down low.
Can Gary Trent capitalize in transition here? Give him the ball down low, let him get to work.
Garnett, careless with the dribble, but still able to come away with the ball and draw the foul. Amazing, someone his size, be able to handle a ball like that. Let's once again go back and listen to that discussion regarding the foul on Sprewell on our court sounds.
But why are you giving me a call on the heat? He's pushing me. He can't do that. He can't keep.
I was looking at you, and all of a sudden you just slapped at his hand.
No, he can't do this. First of all, he's trying to keep me from running up the court.
See, you see Spree with a smile on his face, disagrees, but it did it in the right way where Crawford listened to him.
It's okay to disagree, just don't be disagreeable. But this is a bad call. You have to do that as an offensive player. If the guy comes and starts hand checking you and holding you away from the ball, you got to get his hand off and crack down on that wrist.
Sometimes, as Crawford explained, the official doesn't see the first violation, but sees the second one. So Sprewell on the bench with 3 fouls as Garnett hits the free throws. Garnett 18 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, and it's still not even halftime. Minnesota in his own. He's just an amazing, fun player to watch.
Second in the year last year, the MVP race. You'd have to think that Shaq would be the early leader in that right now.
Offensive foul. Trenton Hassel, although certainly doesn't have the size to deal with him, is a very good defensive player. Hassel's 6'5", third-year player out of Austin Peay. First couple of years with the Bulls. Nice pickup considering the injuries for Minnesota.
Well, Trenton Hassel was very good against Stojakovic in the big game between these two teams in Minnesota earlier this season.
Until he got
foul trouble.
Garnett. Oh, Kevin Garnett and a foul. And Garnett with a chance for the three-point play. Minnesota back within 3.
If he did that more often, he wouldn't be 36th in the NBA in free throw attempts, trailing Allen Iverson, who leads the league with shooting more than twice as many as KG has attempts.
So Garnett has taken 4 free throw attempts in the first half tonight. This will be number 5.
I like the competitive leadership that we're seeing from Kevin Garnett tonight.
He's got such, look at the hands down low. He usually comes away with the ball, and he's the tallest player on that. Cassell, not a good shot.
A forced shot, and Sacramento needs to capitalize on that baseline jumper. Tough pass by Christie.
Throws it away. By the way, it's a 4-point difference. We earlier had Minnesota with 52. It's Sacramento by 4. So Garnett, 20 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, and there's still 1:42 to play in the second.
He's got his 16th double-double of the season already in only 19 games. Nice passing.
Movement without the ball.
Now that's why he should play center. One play he throws down a dunk and gets to the free throw line, and next play he hits a cutter.
That's his 5th assist of the half. Maybe the most versatile player in the NBA, and Hassel called for the foul. A little over aggressive on his defense on Stojakovic.
What about Tim Duncan?
Absolutely can make an argument for Duncan as well.
What about Kobe Bryant?
Bryant, I think it's harder to put a guard in that category, because Garnett can dribble, can shoot from the outside, can rebound, can block shots. I mean, Bryant can do all those things as well. Divac misfires. Hassel the rebound.
Minnesota showing a lot of heart right here. Guys like Hassel, Hoiberg, Trent coming alive, following Garnett's leadership.
Garnett trying to get it. Gary Trent with the hustle. Stojakovic comes up with it. Stolen by Trent.
Over the top to KG.
Cassell wants to shoot instead, knocks it down, and it's a tie game. This is a tough, gritty Minnesota team that has already won 6 games on the road, and they are having the time of their... They're all smiling out there.
You got to come out in these games when you're shorthanded to play for fun and find a way, and they've done that here. 2 for 1 time for Sacramento.
11 straight points. Garnett playing off Miller a little bit, trying to help out on defense. Hoiberg's played some good defense. Christie doesn't take him.
Look,
a good shot there.
Rebound. Now play for 1 here.
Garnett. Hassel out of control, goes down hard, and it's still going to be Minnesota ball. They say last touch by Sacramento. Flipsoners wants a 20.
He wants to talk this over here. Asia's also second in the league in free throw percent.
But that field goal percentage, a guy that shoots so far out so often, at 52% from the field, he's having just a brilliant season. Speaking of brilliance, Garnett has had that in the first half, although misses that one. He hasn't missed many. 8 of 12 from the field. Shot clock turned off. Can Sacramento help themselves and play for the final shot? Well, they're going to go to the line anyway, as Cassell called for the foul.
It's a very tough call against Trenton Hassel here, who was right in the face. And you could just see the determination that he was completely committed to stopping Stojakovic. And then Brad Miller came out and pushed Trenton Hassel.
So Hassel, called for that foul, his second. Stojakovic with 11 points and 5 boards.
I'm going to come at you a little bit, you know, being so impressed that the guy shoots 52% from the floor.
Compared to the rest of today's NBA players, the guy.
But look, if the other guys can't shoot, why should that be a negative comment on what you can do?
No, I'm so impressed. A guy would shoot so much outside.
52% should be an average percentage.
And they finish up with a turnover. Lots of positives, though, Bill, here in the first half, as both teams really compete through the first 2 quarters. And right now we go to Jim Gray.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. Peja, you guys came out, built up that big lead. How did you manage to withstand their onslaught? Because they shot the ball about 58% here in this first half.
I don't know. We just started really good offensively in the first half, first quarter, I mean. I mean, we kind of got relaxed last couple of minutes. We let them score a couple easy buckets. We just got to come back with a lot more energy.
Is this about the best the team has shot against you guys? Usually it's the opposite way.
I guess so. They're shooting the ball pretty well, but I believe that we can play better defense in their shots.
All right, Peja, good luck in the second half.
Even his, as Jim said, the kind of the bitter divorce there helped the Kings, because that brought in Chris Webber and started them on this new era of the Sacramento Kings.
But like everything else that the Maloofs do here, it was a magnificent ceremony. Just happy, people having fun. Congratulations to Mitch, the ultimate honor. One of 28 players in the history of this great league to score over 20,000 points.
He was a pretty good defender down the other end of the floor as well. Meanwhile, how'd you like to be Minnesota on the road as Cassell misfires? You shoot 57% in the first half, out-rebound your opponent, only turn it over 4 times, and you're trailing. But it's only a 1-point disadvantage right now for Minnesota. And a foul on Garnett before the shot. So Garnett will pick up his first.
Very important for Minnesota to get off to a good start right now. Don't let the emotions of the halftime ceremony deflate your spirit. They were so fierce in the second quarter.
In that first quarter, they fell behind 22-12 to start the game. Sacramento, unbelievable to start the game. Miller can't finish. Ball loose, picked up by Christie. 1 on the shot clock. Christie just gets it off in time. But Irvin Johnson, the rebound off the miss.
How about a defensive stand for the Timberwolves? They've come in with a different starting lineup here in the second half. They got Irvin Johnson out there now. They come with a little bit more size. Flip Saunders obviously didn't like what happened in the first quarter when the Timberwolves fell behind so badly.
Again, if you're tuning in, Michael Olowokandi and Mark Madsen, 2 key front court players, out with injuries. Fred Hoiberg started the first. Big height advantage for Sacramento as Garnett misses, but obviously Flip Saunders changing his starters to begin the second half.
Can Peja Stojakovic find a way to free himself from Trenton Hassel? He was magnificent early, then went eerily quiet.
Miller. And Bibby with the offensive rebound. So far, after all the good shooting in the first half, 0 for 7 combined, make it 0 for 8 here in the second half. Miller, another offensive rebound, and he's fouled on the floor. Sam Cassell commits the personal.
Well, Jim Gray's interview went so long. The players were standing around waiting, but Jim was conducting that interview out on the court. The referees were saying, Jim, can we start this game now?
So you're blaming the bad shooting on our colleague.
That's a good place to start.
Sprewell was hot in the first half, so was Garnett. Garnett knocks it down, and we have our first field goal of the third.
Hey, Bill, Mitch Richmond is worth these guys standing an extra 4 or 5 seconds, isn't it, Bill?
I agree wholeheartedly, Jim. You should have conducted that interview on center court.
Meanwhile, this is the first lead of the game for Minnesota, who trailed by as many as 11 in the first half. Bibby off the mark, and all the good shooting from Sacramento. They're a little cold to start this third period.
Nice.
Sprewell. Beautiful move, but couldn't finish.
That's the easiest shot he's had this season, maybe in his entire career.
He's been hot tonight, but not that time.
Standing around on the weak side by Minnesota won't get it done.
Cassell, such a good post-up player, and Sam Cassell having another strong evening in double figures as Minnesota with a 3-point lead.
Sam, who likes to play big minutes, has been getting into it with Flip Saunders about coming to the bench too much. Flip Saunders wants to rest him and have him ready for the end of the game, though.
Divac draws the foul. The Kings still haven't scored yet here in the third quarter. They've missed 11 consecutive shots going back to the second period. Divac will have a chance as he'll go to the free throw line. That foul on Irvin Johnson, his second.
Because of an unbelievable travel schedules, I was unable to make it to Vlade's bowl-a-thon last night. It was very, very sad that I couldn't attend, but that is our special event.
And his teammates on hand. In case you're interested in these type of things, Chris Webber was the leading bowler on the team. He had a 178, which is very impressive, Bill.
Out of 300?
Sprewell knocks it down. Don't even start. You can criticize.
You're the
baseball.
same guy who thinks that shooting 52% is really something special.
I think it is. Don't make fun of Keglers. Divac. Good defense inside from Irvin Johnson. Just kept his arms straight up in the air.
Vlade looks a little sluggish. We're so easy early on. Stojakovic was right at the end of the half with the Jim Gray interview. They fell asleep, the Kings did. Can they wake up?
Minnesota had a good run to end the second and have started off nicely here in the third. Garnett off the mark. Both teams have cooled off. Almost 4 minutes gone by here in the third. A 3-point lead for Minnesota with Bill Walton and Jim Gray, Mike Breen on hand as the Sacramento Kings trying to win their 11th straight at home to start the season.
But Minnesota is making Sacramento play a game they don't want to play, having to dribble, go one-on-one all the time. Nice defense, Kevin Garnett.
And Garnett with the steal. Here comes Sprewell, goes right at Stojakovic, draws the foul. And Sprewell will shoot a couple. Stojakovic picks up the personal.
The versatility of Kevin Garnett, who just does everything. Rebounds, scores, the leadership, the spiritual guidance that he gives to all these players. And now doing it on the defensive end as well. Reading that pass. As a defender, you have to watch the eyes of the guy who has the ball. No matter who you're guarding, wherever you are on the court, that's the only thing that matters.
And again, what makes Garnett special, I mean, he's such a good defender in the post, but he can defend out in the perimeter. Just spectacular numbers.
There's never really been a player like Kevin Garnett. And what he did in last year's All-Star game, that double overtime thriller down in Atlanta where he was the MVP of the All-Star game, that was so remarkable. He was head and shoulders above everybody in the world.
Meanwhile, Minnesota, an 8-2 run to start this third period. They lead by 5. This half-court offense giving problems for Sacramento until Stojakovic nails a 3.
Why would Trenton Hassel ever leave Peja Stojakovic?
14 for Stojakovic.
Nice pass, Irvin Johnson.
Garnett holds his feet, comes up short. Irvin Johnson right there. And Johnson now with 4 points and 4 rebounds.
Delay of game warning against Minnesota.
Looking for a place to get all the latest fantasy basketball news? Watch Virtual GM every night at 1 Eastern on NBA TV for the only show on TV dedicated to fantasy basketball. Hassel, good defense on Stojakovic. Sprewell on a reach-in, and Johnson took an inadvertent shot to the face.
To me, this is fantasy basketball. This is the NBA at its best. Up and down, guys shooting jumpers in transition, laying their heart and soul on the line each and every possession. Kevin Garnett coming in here shorthanded and say, you know what? We have come here to win this game regardless of the odds against us.
It's been fun to watch. That foul, by the way, is on Johnson. Divac can finish, and that's a break for Minnesota because that would have been Sprewell's 4th. But Sprewell only with 3, Johnson now with 3.
Beautiful start by Minnesota's taking the crowd out of it here.
Sprewell rattles it in. Latrell Sprewell has been superb. 23 points for Sprewell. And Minnesota with a 6-point lead.
I think that Mitch Richmond's ceremony has inspired Minnesota and taken the steam out of the Kings.
Miller flips it up there. And Sprewell with a rebound. And a reach-in foul there. Brad Miller.
It was funny when I congratulated Brad Miller about his new $70 million contract before the game tonight. Said, yeah, and back home in Indiana when I signed that, we went to Applebee's and had a real nice celebration.
He wasn't kidding. No, it's the truth. What a pickup he has been. A lot of the Kings players say he's so much like Vlade Divac in the way he plays that it's been an easy transition getting him involved in what the Kings like to do.
Sprewell against Bibby. That's a mismatch. Got to torch him.
Divac, the rebound. Quick outlet. Bibby on the pull-up. That one in and out. And Hassel able to get it as Garnett kept it alive.
The offense has completely disappeared. Bibby's shooting stroke vanished.
Trenton Hassel. Stojakovic not only with 14 points, he's got 8 rebounds tonight. Offensive foul. Sam Cassell steps in and draws the charge on Bibby.
Has been outstanding.
Cassell coming off one of his best games and a victory at 16 points on Wednesday night in the fourth quarter alone. 27 for the game. Takes a shot to the face there and then knocks down a shot.
Remember, Sam Cassell used to play in Phoenix. So that emotional card, which Rick Adelman has tonight with Anthony Peeler, who was very strong with 3 quick hoops when he came in. They've not come back to try to play that.
Bibby well short on a 3, and Garnett with another rebound.
What an outlet.
Sprewell goes right at Christie. Foul. Latrell Sprewell with a superb move, and he's got a chance for a 3-point play.
An incredibly difficult play by Latrell Sprewell.
Against one of the better defenders in the league.
Sam Cassell, this backcourt, which was the dream of Kevin McHale when he made those drastic moves in the offseason. A team, Minnesota, that has never been noted for its athleticism, its individual type of players, and now they come in with 2 great ones in the backcourt. They are delivering tonight.
It's been a 22-point turnaround. Sacramento led by 11 earlier. Now it's Minnesota by 11. As Sprewell has 26 points.
And Bibby is quiet. Brad Miller is quiet. Vlade.
Divac wide open, and they still can't hit Garnett with his 16th rebound.
This is a big test for Sacramento right now, because their long winning streak has been at the expense of some of the league's weakest teams.
Cassell posting up Bibby again, a little drop step. Oh, pretty move from Sam Cassell, who's got 16.
And with Minnesota's got a winning road record tonight, Indiana in here on Sunday, we're going to find out just how talented this Sacramento team is.
A 19-5 run to start this third quarter.
Minnesota cannot get conservative or overconfident. Go for the kill right now.
Sprewell feeling he can score every time he touches tonight, and a foul. So Sprewell will shoot a couple more. The foul goes against Christie, his second.
The parade to the free throw line right now. Let's go back to the second quarter when they called the 2 offensive fouls against Sprewell. Sprewell handled it in a professional manner, didn't lose his cool. Right now he's earned the respect of the referees, and the trips to the free throw line are the result.
Christie will sit down with the 2 fouls. Sprewell 26 points in 27 minutes. He's perfect from the free throw line at 5 for 5. Doesn't get to the line as much as he used to. He used to get, there was one year he got to the line almost 600 times, but has realized as he's gotten older, he's not the same explosive player, so he relies more on the perimeter game. But tonight, he's attacking the basket.
This is a veteran backcourt, one of the oldest in the league. Both Cassell and Sprewell, 33 years of age. And this is a young man's game. You're playing against Bibby and Bobby Jackson all the time. That's tough to do. Sam Cassell, he didn't like playing against Peja Stojakovic the last time these 2 teams met.
Divac is fouled. And Vlade Divac, the foul goes against Kevin Garnett. And that's his second.
Are you a good bowler?
No.
I'm surprised at that.
Why would you be surprised?
Kind of look like a bowler.
Are you talking about my wardrobe? I have a lot of bowling shirts that I wear outside. So Divac to the free throw line. A reminder, every Tuesday night, join host Kevin Frazier and analysts Tim Legler and Greg Anthony. They bring you all the news and exclusives and progress highlights from a busy night in the NBA. Some of the games on the schedule this Tuesday: Washington at Indiana, Denver on the road in Atlanta, Philly at Detroit, Portland at Houston, and the Knicks out west against the LA Lakers. NBA Fast Break Tuesday, 10:30 Eastern. For information, log on to ESPN.com.
Funny, because while the Kings are the highest scoring team, the best shooting team from the field and three-point line, they're only 5th in the NBA in free throw percentage. I find that shocking.
Bobby Jackson in the game trying to stop Sam Cassell, who's getting hot. Cassell, tough turnaround, knocks it down.
This is his game. He's having the time of his life. He walked in here tonight just beaming. He knew they were shorthanded. He knew he was going to get a shoot every time.
You have Cassell, Sprewell, and Garnett have 67 of their 77 points. Ball still alive, and Peeler able to come up with it. Jackson spots up for 3. They just cannot find the goal, and a loose ball foul is going to be called against Minnesota.
Brad Miller's relentless work on the offensive glass. There was not really that much contact, but when he just kept going, never giving up, flailing his arms out there, forcing referee Leon Wood to make that call.
The call on Cassell, that's his third. Miller to the line for the first time. Sacramento's only taken 8 free throws tonight. Let's go to Jim Gray.
Mike, you're talking about that run. My math may be a little bit bad, but I don't think so. To me, it's a 33-8 run since the last 3 minutes, a full quarter now of basketball, with Minnesota outscoring them 33 to now 9.
Yeah, it's now a 25-point turnaround, as we mentioned. Now it's a 13-point lead for Minnesota. The Timberwolves have been a good road team and playing just terrific basketball here in the third quarter. Irvin Johnson way short.
But he's got to shoot that ball. If he doesn't, it just breaks down completely for Minnesota.
Again, Johnson playing a lot. No all over candy tonight. Miller. Brad Miller able to put it in. Miller with 17.
That's their game, penetration and dish. So many guys can do it, forcing Flip Saunders to call a timeout.
Like the three of us, it's almost like if you're a team, you got to sort of pick your poison.
Well, stylistically, their offensive games all mesh here. Garnett can work it in the low post or shoot over the perimeter defenders. Cassell runs the attack, and Sprewell works all the angles and the corners. Nice passing by Cassell. You got to catch that ball.
Again, they've got 67 of the 77 points in what has been an excellent turnaround for Minnesota.
Well, through 18 games this year, the big three is averaging 57 points a game, more than any three Timberwolves since the franchise's second season.
Good defense from Irvin Johnson. Johnson has given them some nice minutes. He's played 19 minutes. He's got 4 points, 5 rebounds, and a couple of steals.
And since he's come into the game and become a factor, Sacramento's offense has completely disappeared the same way that Phoenix's did. That's got to be a foul there. Sam Cassell cannot believe it.
Well, Cassell agrees with you, although Jackson a very good defender. Of course, Sacramento 10-0 this year at home. They won their last 7 regular season games, so 17 straight here at Arco Arena, one of the toughest places to win in the NBA. Last year they were 35-6 at home during the regular season. Bobby Jackson, tough shot from Jackson. 10 points off the bench. Again, he is so solid, does not play big minutes, but scores quite a bit here for Sacramento.
Kevin Garnett time. This is what MVPs do. Momentum in the balance, get to the hoop, get to the free throw line, make a big play.
Forced that one a little bit. Miller played him very well.
And with no double team, you should think that Kevin Garnett would be able to get to the hoop on Brad Miller.
D-Dots Jackson cuts back door and can't get it, but Miller right there. And a foul. Brad Miller knocks it in as Garnett hit him on the arm.
It's all happening for Brad Miller.
Garnett mistimed his jump originally on the Bobby Jackson miss.
But how about the holler from Bobby Jackson? It all starts with the passing of Vlade. That back cut by Bobby Jackson. Vlade didn't see him, but the little whoop caught his attention, and then Brad Miller just followed it up. As now Kevin Garnett, foul trouble, 3. Playing so short-handed, that all becomes critical. Cassell and Irvin Johnson to the bench.
See Miller's numbers.
What an outstanding free throw shooter. I don't think anybody had any idea that Brad Miller was this good.
Everybody with the Kings, Jeff Petrie, Rick Allen, his teammates all say that. We knew he was good. We didn't know he was this good. And a whistle away from the ball is going to go against Sacramento.
He had outstanding coaching, Brad Miller did, at the collegiate level. Gene Cady goes undrafted in the NBA. Goes over, plays in Europe. Comes and plays for Charlotte. Goes up to Chicago, spends his whole time in the Eastern Conference where there is no passing. It's just one-on-one, backing in, walking the ball up the floor.
He's gone from a scrappy reserve who had to fight to make a team, a bench player, to being an all-star. As Hoiberg hits both. For Peeler, that foul was his second, and that put them in the penalty. 8-point lead. for the visitors, which is unusual here at Arco Arena. You don't say that often. Divac. And a foul on Miller after Garnett got the rebound, so now Garnett will shoot free throws. Miller picking up his second. Nope, his third, excuse me.
One of the things I love about Kevin Garnett is he likes the physical game. He likes it when people are banging and shoving. Nobody likes the dirty play that Bill Laimbeer used to bring all the time. But Kevin Garnett, he likes that contact when guys are hacking him and coming at him with good, hard shots to his midsection.
Of course, Bill will now say something mean to you during their next break, but we'll get to that in a minute. Garnett now, as he goes to the line, talking to Mark Madsen before the game. And Madsen out with the back injury as Garnett hits the first one. Madsen, who, of course, played with Shaquille O'Neal, he's blown away by Garnett as a leader, as a guy who communicates during practice, after practice, during the game. He's always talking, telling players where to go. He can't believe what a great leader that he is.
And like Tim Duncan, never does anything on or off the court to draw attention to himself other than play ball. Great poke away by Gary Trent.
Everybody making the little plays from Minnesota. Final minute, third quarter. And what a quarter it's been for the Timberwolves.
Come to Kevin Garnett and let him go one-on-one, get to the hoop with a throwdown. Show you're the MVP.
Shot clock winding down. McLeod. Divac, tough rebound in traffic. Dangerous outlet pass. And he throws it out of bounds.
Plenty of time for Minnesota. I'd get the ball to Kevin Garnett, throw it up high at the basket area, and then let him turn and hit one of his spot-up shooters like a Hoiberg or a McLeod who can play. They're going to bring in Sprewell because Flip Saunders does not like the offensive continuity from the last possession.
So 4.1 remaining. Sprewell, who is the leading scorer in the game with 27. But Divac sits down.
You can get the ball to Kevin Garnett wherever you want it. If you can't get the ball to Kevin Garnett, you've got no passing skills.
McLeod, is he going to get it on? Nope, does not even get it off in time.
When the Knicks lose, what is going on here?
What I want to know what's going on is look at the second and third quarter. The Kings scored 35 points combined in the second and third. They had 36 in the first alone. Miller blocked, but a blocking foul is called. Now, what's the difference? Why has Minnesota been able to start after that great offensive start by Sacramento? What are they doing on defense that it's been so effective?
Flip Saunders made a strategic shift. He started the game with Garnett at center and nothing but guards out there. That didn't work at all because they were having to scramble too much defensively. Brought some size in, brought Gary Trent in, brought Irvin Johnson in. They both made major contributions, and they said, look, let's make Sacramento beat us with one-on-one basketball. That's not their game. They don't have the overpowering guy like a Kevin Garnett, a Duncan, a Shaq, a Kobe, a Karl Malone, a Tracy McGrady, and Allen Iverson. They have to play penetration and dish, pass and shoot. They're not able to play that style against this tough Minnesota defense right now. It's been the ball game.
Chris Webber still about a month away, watching his Kings pull within 7. One thing for sure, it's going to get very loud here in the fourth if the Kings make any kind of comeback, which you expect. McLeod, nice move off the dribble. Oh, Keith McLeod, who's a very good offensive player, not afraid to attack the basket. The rookie from Bowling Green.
One thing for real sure is that if they don't get Kevin Garnett back in this game real soon, Sacramento's going to get momentum. It's going to be tough to stem.
Stojakovic, good hard drive, and he draws the foul. They're going to call it the act of shooting. Gary Trent reached in. And 2 free throws coming up for Stojakovic. Stojakovic got off to that great start. He had 10 points in the first quarter. Only had 4 since then.
But if you allow a guy to turn the corner, you are going to get beat every single time.
Absolutely. Saturday on NBA TV. Action. The Houston Rockets back home. They'll host the Pistons. Then next Thursday on TNT, 7:30 Eastern. Those Pistons in Cleveland against the Cavs. And then the New Orleans playing at Phoenix against the Suns. Rick Adelman watching his team. Adelman in his 6th year in Sacramento. Sprewell.
Pressure on McLeod and Gary Trent right now.
Peeler with the foul from behind. And Sprewell will shoot 2 more.
Flip Saunders is resting Kevin Garnett. No longer. He's bringing him right back up. He's also resting Sam Cassell, who he's also bringing back up. Now he's going to push Sam back to the bench. I think Sam tried to substitute himself there.
Garnett has only sat for 2 minutes in this game. Sprewell with 27 points. Sprewell's season high is 31. And you see Garnett's numbers. He also has 6 assists. That's not a bad line.
The most important line is that they're winning by 8 on a team's floor that has not lost this season and that it has had the best home court record in the last 3+ years.
Sangila back in for Sacramento.
McLeod's got to deliver here. Sometimes he gets tentative, thinking that Flip Saunders is going to pull him out if he makes one single mistake.
Sprewell now on Stojakovic. Nice move from Stojakovic.
Not his game. Too many dribbles for Pedro. And that's a great defensive strategy by Flip Saunders.
That's what Rick Adelman was telling us, that one area that Stojakovic has to improve on is shooting off the dribble.
I hope he never does.
McLeod, line drive. McLeod once again. Here's a guy that scored in college when he was a senior at Bowling Green. He was averaged 23 a game, so he can score.
Beautiful passing, Bobby Jackson.
Sangila can't finish. Stojakovic tip won't go. Miller comes away with another rebound. Goes up strong and puts it in. I think Trent got a piece of it, and Miller's still able to get it through.
Stick a fork in it, McLeod.
McLeod set on the sidelines.
The reason why I don't want Stojakovic to learn how to do this by dribbling all the time, because that's what the rest of the league does. When one guy takes 9 dribbles while everybody else stands around.
Well, one of the great things about Sacramento is so much of their offense just comes off beautiful passes. Meanwhile, Peeler creates his own shot. Peeler with 8 points against his former team.
Well, Peeler can do that. And he grew up playing that kind of style.
Oh, so he's allowed, but Stojakovic can't. Stop this nonsense. Garnett. Sprewell, nice fake to get Miller out of his way, and Latrell Sprewell pouring it on here tonight. He's got 31, tying his season high.
And pushing the crowd right back into their seats. There's no greater feeling in sports
than winning on the road and silencing the crowd. Is that what you're going to say?
Absolutely.
Miller, nice fake. Garnett went for that. Miller. Miller goes down hard as Gary Trent. Trent quickly goes over. They're going to call a flagrant. Trent goes over to see if Miller's okay.
That's a good call by Joe Crawford. I mean, that's coming from the weak side on the dead run.
A flagrant one. Flip Saunders doesn't agree. We'll take another look at it.
If you're Minnesota, just accept it and play through it. This is a layup. The guy comes in, you hit the guy in the armpit.
I'd like to see another angle on that. I mean,
tough to say you're going for the ball when you hit a guy in the armpit.
You know what? I'm the first guy to say call a flagrant foul. That was very close. I could have seen that gone either way. I don't know. Now Crawford doing a good job explaining it as Miller hitting the free throws, and now Sacramento on a flagrant foul. You take the 2 free throws and take the ball out of bounds.
Well, Minnesota should not argue with the ref. They should just get out there and get mad. Play tougher.
But that one could have gone either way.
Yeah, but it's behind him now.
Right. Peeler trying to create double team. Good defense from Hoiberg. Sangila. That's not the shot Sacramento wants, although Sangila's a good shooter.
I think you got to get Kevin Garnett going, or even come to Gary Trent in the low post.
Sprewell fires away. Latrell Sprewell with 33. 12 of 18 from the field. He's got a season high, and the T-Wolves back up by 9.
And the Timberwolves' greatest fan, Jimmy Jam, is sitting right courtside. He's having the time of his life here. First time in Arco for Jimmy Jam.
This is a wonderful place to watch a game. Shot clock at 3. Sangila blocked by Trent. Stojakovic blocked by Garnett. I don't know if the ball hit the rim. They're saying yes. That shot won't go. Sangila, the offensive rebound. Jackson for 3. Second effort from the Kings, and they pull within 6.
How many balls has Brad Miller kept alive?
Sprewell drives again, and he's fouled before the shot.
I didn't say you did. What you did was unnecessary. Guys up in the air.
Hit his arm, though.
Hear me out.
Okay.
I thought what you did was unnecessary. I checked with my partners. They thought the same thing.
That's the definition of a flagrant 1. Unnecessary contact. Unnecessary and excessive is flagrant 2. It has nothing to do with going for the ball. Garnett spinning inside. Can't get it to go off the glass. Jackson spinning. Blocked by Garnett. Going backwards. Still Sacramento ball.
Back to the flagrant foul. I think in light of what happened last week with Danny Fortson in Phoenix, I think the referees are more sensitive to flagrant fouls at this point.
And I think they should. It's better to err, I think, on that side than not call them.
Without question.
Trying to discourage the bad fouls. Jackson puts it in. Bobby Jackson pulls the Kings within 4. He's got 15 off the bench.
We are headed to overtime again for the 4th consecutive time between these two franchises.
They played overtime in November in Minnesota. Sacramento won that one. The home winning streak on the line for the Kings. And Jackson called for a reach-in foul. It's only the 3rd team foul. And Jackson will pick up his 3rd.
Kevin Garnett is allowing Brad Miller to play him one-on-one. Brad Miller is doing a fine job with good footwork and nice positioning, a little shoulder and elbow work. Kevin Garnett should just inside pivot on him and go right by him.
Sam Cassell nearly lost it, and he did.
Hoiberg everywhere.
Ball still loose. Sangaila, everybody diving on the floor. Cassell tried to jam the pass in there, and he turns it over. Good hustle from both teams. Jackson, Bibby, sets for 3. Oh, that one halfway down. They got knocked out of bounds. Still Sacramento ball.
Sangaila and Brad Miller on the offensive glass. Guys who can't jump over 2 pieces of paper. They can't even jump as high as Joe Maloof sitting right here.
That one was halfway down and rattled out. And a foul on Sam Cassell. That's going to be the 14th foul against Minnesota, and Cassell's 4th. Boy, these two really battling.
But this is what you live for as a basketball player. Just head-to-head against guys who just love to play the game.
Boy, do you love to see that sportsmanship. Cassell is one of those players. He talks all game long, but it's not the taunting, degrading type stuff. He just loves to talk. He loves to be out there. And he appreciates Bobby Jackson's competitiveness.
Oh, hesitation killing him.
And Cassell with a rebound stolen by Peeler. Anthony Peeler.
Peeler has deserved more time than he's got tonight.
Bibby for 3.
Oh,
Ball kicked out of bounds. Kicked by Trent. Still Sacramento ball.
Very small lineup for Rick Adelman right now. He wasn't getting it from Vlade.
Second shot opportunities. Important for Sacramento. Jackson, wild shot. Can't get it to go. And Garnett with his 19th rebound.
Trent's in transition in the post.
Good ball movement. Hoiberg finding Garnett. Feed inside for Trent. Trent blocked by Sangaila. And a whistle and a loose ball foul is going to go against Sacramento.
Now this is a ball game right here.
And we still have 6:20 remaining. Sangaila the foul after a terrific block.
Never discount the college coaching that Sangaila got while at Wake Forest. The 4-year player playing for Dave Odom, who was coaching there at the time, the same coach who taught Tim Duncan how to play this game.
He's played in big games, and he's only an NBA. Obviously, he's a rookie because he's played over in international ball. Hoiberg misses. Garnett tips it at Trent.
Now they're calling over the top on Kevin Garnett.
And Garnett whistled for his 4th foul.
If you're Minnesota, don't complain about the calls that are obviously going to go against you.
They're in the penalty.
Get mad and take it out on the opposition. Ignore the referees. You can't paint yourself as a victim out here.
The officials tonight, Joe Crawford, one of the best. There you see Leon Wood, who's one of 2 NBA refs who played in the NBA, and Tim Donaghy, the 3rd official. It's been a tough physical game to call. They've done a good job as Miller knocks down the first, and Sacramento within 3.
An outstanding free throw shooter, Brad Miller. Big guys who can convert at the line More importantly, who can get to the line. What's the free throw disparity in attempts of Brad Miller versus Kevin Garnett?
Miller 8 for 8. Garnett 4 of 7. Making 9 for 9 for Miller. Let's go to Jim Gray.
Well, Mike, while they were on the free throw line there, Latrell Sprewell and Casal came over to Leon Wood. He said, hey, guys, enough. You know, I played this game. I know these calls. I know what's going on out here. You can't fool me. Mike?
He played 6 years for 6 different teams. Garnett, fall away shot, won't go. Songaila with a rebound.
Sprewell's the only guy who's delivering for Flip Saunders, and they've gone away from him. Inexcusable here. Milk a hot hand.
Both teams now, any foul, put them in the penalty. Miller, tie game. They battle back from 11 down here in the fourth quarter, and this madhouse called Arco Arena once again alive.
Points tonight for Brad Miller. I mean, that passes his season high of 29 that he had against Yao Ming. And the nicest thing about that for Brad Miller is that he's playing his best against the best, and that's what they're desperately going to need if they're ever going to win a championship here.
Several players having some of their best games of the season. Sprewell, a season high 33 for Minnesota. Garnett, tough shot, does not get the roll. And Bibby comes out of the pack. Songaila tipped the ball. Songaila's made some very big plays here in the fourth.
As solid as he's been on offense, it's been his defense that shut down Kevin Garnett here.
Jackson for 3. Rushed it. Good boxing out from Trent as he kept him on his back. That's textbook boxing out, and it's going to be Minnesota ball.
To win on the road in a building like this, so very difficult. You got to get to the free throw line. You've got to dominate the defensive board, and you have to stop guys' individual penetration. Minnesota's not doing that, and that does not bode well for them down the stretch.
Meanwhile, Sacramento doing this with Stojakovic on the bench for a good part. Garnett. And Kevin Garnett now with 25 points. T-Wolves back up by 2. Garnett 1 rebound shy of his third 2020 game of the season.
Well, he's going to get another rebound. If he doesn't, Minnesota has no chance of winning.
Bibby, good defense here from the Timberwolves. Songaila dared to shoot, does a little fake, and can't get it to fall. Good hands from Garnett. Sprewell looking to attack the goal again. Knocked away by Jackson, but still Minnesota ball with 4:01 remaining here in the fourth.
Sprewell appears to prefer going left at full speed in transition. But Kevin Garnett, he's the MVP. He's the guy they have to go to down the stretch. But Brad Miller has denied him at every turn on the offensive end.
Still plenty of time. Cassell, tough shots, and Cassell with 20. And Minnesota back up by 4.
The dream is alive. Kevin McHale's vision of putting some offensive firepower around Kevin Garnett to take the pressure off. Will it work?
78 points for the big 3 from Minnesota. Miller again. Miller's got 32. The big acquisition in the offseason for Sacramento.
Well, particularly since everybody else in the trade is doing terribly.
And he's had to guard Garnett. He's done a strong job on Garnett in the second half. Sprewell lost it. Jackson throws it ahead to Bibby. And Bibby's foul goes down hard. Trent with the block. And 2 free throws coming up from Mike Bibby. And the crowd, the Sacramento bench applauding Anthony Peeler for coming up with that deflection.
Well, Peeler, one guy who's willing to go to the floor. Now that is a dive. And the speed by Mike Bibby, he knows he's going to get hammered. Vlade Divac, the inspirational leader of this squad.
Oh. Bibby, that's his first free throw of the night. Both teams solid from the line. The Kings 18 for 20 from the line. Minnesota 14 of 18. And there you see in the fourth quarter, tie game, just over 3 to play.
Sacramento's defense has really come alive. Their numbers are not as good this year as it was last year, but they're on it right now defensively.
How about that enthusiasm from Divac on a game in December for a veteran to be so pumped up? It's contagious here at Arco Arena. Offensive foul call. Gary Trent, a moving screen.
Minnesota's falling apart, and that blown timeout is going to cost him down the stretch.
Minnesota with only 10 turnovers. That's what's so impressive in a game like this with this kind of pace with so few turnovers.
Well, these two teams are two of the top 5 teams in fewest turnovers per game, a stat led by the Dallas Mavericks.
Cassell and Sprewell playing the two-man game. Cassell can't hit. Garnett tips it, but right to Bibby. 2.5 to play.
Sacramento's been better on the offensive glass than Minnesota has.
Bibby Jackson trying to pick and roll. Sungila draws the foul on Irvin Johnson, and Johnson commits the personal, so Sungila will shoot 2 free throws.
Look at the lineup that Rick Adelman is going with 2 minutes to go in a tie game.
Again, he's a rookie, but he's played in the Olympics for Lithuania. He's played in European championships, and the atmosphere in those games are as wild for a lot of teams over in Europe as they are here in the NBA.
He's played in the ACC tournament, too, playing for Wake Forest. You got Stojakovic on the bench, Vlade on the bench, Christie on the bench.
And you see Stojakovic remain seated. Sungila's made a lot of hustle plays, as we said. He's an effort player with skills. That's a pretty terrific combination. Sacramento, their first lead of the 4th quarter. They're on their feet again at Arco Arena, chanting defense. Garnett, the hop step, blocked. Jackson helped out from behind. Bibby for 3. And Garnett with his 20th rebound, 3rd 20-20 game of the season. Hoiberg couldn't hold on. And Sacramento will get it back.
Where's the on-court leadership for Minnesota? The Timberwolves have turned Brad Miller into Bill Russell. The guy is stopping everything.
Miller has been just brilliant. Minnesota has played a superb road game. Cassell bumps Bibby. Bibby, hard drive to the basket. Won't go. Cassell had it, lost it, and a loose ball foul is going to go against Sam Cassell, who's irate with the call.
That was arguably the 7th call that could have been made on that possession.
There was a lot of contact. Cassell is upset as he picks up his 5th foul. First, Cassell bumped Bibby. They let that go.
Irvin Johnson comes and just hammers Little Mike.
Oh, he's Little Mike now. Oh, that's tough.
That's a tough call there against Sam Cassell and the Timberwolves.
Kings by 3, 1:32 remaining. Cassell still upset. But as you say, Bill, he's got to let it go. There's still plenty of time. Minnesota still has 2 timeouts remaining. Clutch free throws from Mike Bibby. Vlade Divac waving the crowd. Get on your feet. Sprewell trying to pick and roll. Boy, Peeler, excellent defense on that pick and roll on Garnett.
What about Brad Miller?
And a foul called. This one's going to go against Sacramento, and more free throws coming up.
Excuse me, but Brad Miller has just been everywhere. His stepping out, talking on the screens here. Beautiful screen by Kevin Garnett, and then you're smothering Sprewell. No passing angles whatsoever.
That foul on Bobby Jackson is 4th, and you're right. The key there was Miller made any Sprewell attempt to get at Garnett difficult. Peeler did a good job denying, but Miller made that play. Cassell, an excellent clutch free throw shooter. Hits his first 2 from the line tonight, and it's back to a 2-point game. Again, these teams, the last 3 times they've played, they've gone to overtime. In NBA history, no pair of teams have played 4 consecutive games in overtime against each other. It's never happened. Jackson, shot clock winding down. The floater, Bobby Jackson puts Sacramento up by 4. 17 for Jackson. Under a minute to play.
Sprewell or Garnett here.
Cassell rushed that shot. The 3-pointer off the mark. Minnesota does not have to foul yet.
The inability to get any second chance opportunities for Minnesota has really hurt their chances.
Sacramento trying to keep the home unbeaten streak alive. 10 straight this year, 17 straight overall. Bibby puts it in. Kings by 6. Timeout, Minnesota. Sacramento backcourt. How about Bobby Jackson blocking Kevin Garnett? And then the floater for Jackson, the 6th man playing the crunch time minutes. Bibby clutch free throws and a big-time jumper. 29.2 seconds remaining. Minnesota will have the ball when we return, trailing by 6. Garnett out there for Minnesota. Jackson, Bibby, Miller, Peeler, and Sangaila still out there for Sacramento.
Sangaila.
Garnett for 3. Puts it in. Kevin Garnett makes it a 3-point game. And they quickly foul Miller with 25.7 remaining. The key here is Minnesota still has a timeout remaining, which will help them enormously. Now it's up for Miller to go to the free throw line. He's 9 for 9 from the line tonight. As you see Garnett's tremendous game.
What a role he's been on in all aspects. The shooting, the scoring, the rebounding, the blocks, assists.
Miller from the free throw line this season, 76%, but he's hit all 9 of them tonight. Badly misses that one. Minnesota still alive.
Ton of time here. It's that lost timeout. That's a major factor for Flip Saunders.
Sports Center coming up next. See Miller tying his career high with 32. Misses both.
Shows a great foul by Hoiberg.
Cassell. Minnesota, will they go for the 3 and try and force another overtime? Sprewell finding Garnett. Garnett for 3. Bang! Kevin Garnett ties the game with 11.3 remaining.
I love this game.
And now Sacramento will call timeout. Unbelievable.
I mean, you are not talking a classic three-point shooter in Kevin Garnett. Well, the switch forced by the pick and roll leaves a shorter man on Kevin Garnett, and
Can't foul.
Peeler and Bobby Jackson are the key guys right here.
Sangaila gets it into the hands of Bibby. Hoiberg on him. Bibby pulls up. No good. Overtime again for Minnesota and Sacramento.
Bobby Jackson, the only king in foul trouble with 4.
What did Mike Adelman say to us before the game?
Mike, in fact, Peeler went to go out, and Adelman saw it, and he kind of pulled him back as he was halfway out on the court and then called Pazier.
So Stojakovic goes in. Peeler played well in that 4th quarter. Adelman told us we always have problems with Kevin Garnett. Well, they've had more problems tonight. Garnett does not hit that one. Gary Trent, playing with 5 fouls, gets a big offensive rebound.
Play the clock if you're Minnesota right now. You rarely get offensive rebounds.
Trenton Hassel back in the game. Cassell, 3-pointer won't go. Bibby, tough rebound in traffic. And he's fouled. Gary Trent has just fouled out of the game. Trent, 2 points and 4 rebounds. Trent fouls out for the first time this season.
A short bench to begin with, without Mark Madsen, without Michael Olowokandi. Now you're down to just Irvin Johnson besides KG.
A lot of guys in street clothes on Minnesota's bench.
But the heart shown by the Timberwolves tonight. This is what the NBA is all about.
Jackson lost the ball. Trent Hassel is a very good defender.
Problem is, he can't guard everybody on the other team.
Cassell trying to post up. Bibby pokes it away. Cassell upset. He felt that Bibby reached over the top. Bibby makes his drive. Gets the bounce. And Sacramento draws first blood in the overtime.
Fatigue a factor here. Minnesota been on the road a long time. The homestanding Kings feeding off this great crowd.
Bibby with 8 points in the 4th quarter and overtime has come alive offensively. And Cassell fouled by Bobby Jackson. Before the shot, they'll take it out of bounds.
Bibby over the back here. That's a poor pass by Latrell Sprewell. That just leaves Sam Cassell with nothing to do other than argue with the refs as Mike Bibby able to get the little runner.
They're checking just to make sure they have the right foul call. It's against Bobby Jackson, who now has 5. Don't forget Sports Center coming up. first team foul. Now in the overtime, it's the 4th team foul, puts you in the penalty. Each team also gets 3 additional timeouts, and if you still have your 20 from regulation, you carry that over, but both teams use their 20.
Play.
Matson will help in that area, but not tonight. 2 good free throws from Cassell, who's got 24. We're tied again at 104. Jackson, wild pass. Stojakovic falling away. And Garnett with his 22nd rebound.
That is a rebound and an outlet. Can Sprewell finish? Nice passing.
Irvin Johnson quickly gets rid of it. Good. Garnett. And Johnson tips it, but right to Bobby Jackson. Bibby has been hot, and a foul on his way to the basket. Trenton Hassel will pick up the foul. 2nd team foul against Minnesota. Hassel's played good defense, but it's the big 3 on offense that has done it for Minnesota.
Coming to play tonight. These
88
guys,
points.
talking about a professional performance.
Stojakovic knocks it down. Peja Stojakovic. Only 2 points in the 4th quarter. Again, didn't play many minutes in that period. Hits a big shot. Kings by 2 again. Trying to keep their home unbeaten streak alive.
Miller steps out beautifully, denying Sprewell at every turn.
Sprewell inside to Garnett. Oh, beautiful pass from Latrell Sprewell, his 5th assist. Garnett now 33 points and 22 rebounds.
I like the defensive assignment of Flip Saunders of having Hassel on Bobby Jackson here.
Hassel with size and strength. Stojakovic, 3-pointer short. And Garnett with another rebound.
Sprewell doing a nice job on Stojakovic, forcing very difficult shot attempts.
Sprewell and Bibby really crashed into each other on an attempted screen.
Sprewell just ran him over.
Sprewell, tough shot, knocks it down. Latrell Sprewell now with 35 points. And it's Minnesota with a 2-point lead in OT. Bibby. Stojakovic does a good job saving it. Miller.
Great defense, Kevin Garnett.
Miller gets it back, and there's the foul. Now Miller will go to the line where he missed 2 key free throws in regulation.
The previous possession for Minnesota. Sprewell with a tremendous pick. Bibby runs into him and goes to the ground, and the fans wanted a call against Sprewell. And that was a tremendous, perfect screen.
Meanwhile, Miller will go to the line. The foul is on Garnett. Garnett now with 5 fouls. Now Miller hit his first 9 tonight, then missed 2 key free throws in the final minute of regulation that helped Minnesota tie it. However, bounces back with that one.
You know what's been great about this game, too, is that there has not been an inordinate number of timeouts.
Miller misses another.
So he's missed 3 out of his last 4 down the stretch after a flawless performance in all aspects for Brad Miller.
He's got a career-high 33 points. Garnett, Miller on top of him. Good defense from Miller that time. Johnson had it, lost it, and Sangaila. That's a tough rebound in traffic.
Oh, the confidence that Rick Adelman is showing in Sangaila.
Jackson. And Irvin Johnson with a big rebound. Final minute. Minnesota with a 1-point lead.
Sprewell's the key here. He's a guy that never gets tired. Let him go and make a play for himself right here.
They isolate Sprewell. Now Garnett comes over to set the screen. Sprewell puts it in. 37 for Sprewell. And Minnesota takes a 3-point lead with 39.3 remaining. Garnett on Bibby. Bibby reverse layup. Can't get it to go. Garnett can't and does keep it alive. Garnett tied up.
Now play the clock.
Hoiberg's going to bring it back out.
Give it to Cassell. Let Cassell hold it. Let him hold it. He'll make these free throws.
They don't have to foul. There's a 4-second difference between shot and game clock.
I totally disagree.
Oh, but Cassell makes them pay. Sam Cassell puts them up by 5. Bobby Jackson will bring it up.
They should have fouled him immediately.
Jackson for 3. Miller. 1.7 remaining.
Concession basket. Get it to Cassell.
And the home winning streak comes to an end. Sacramento finally defeated at home as Kevin Garnett with a brilliant performance and Sam Cassell with a big bucket to seal it.
We were here a year ago when Kevin Garnett put on a magnificent performance and lost in overtime. Today, he comes right back and delivered. That's what the MVP is all about. Kevin Garnett.